Alright, bonjour, let's get to work. We're doing chapter 9, en route, which means like on the road. Our objectives today are to learn vocabulary related to airport, so at the airport, at the train station, on the road, then cardinal points, how do you say north, south, east, west, east. Then the verb conduire, which is slightly irregular. Depuis and pendant, for and since. Actually, depuis means both for and since, and pendant means for. We'll talk about it. It's a bit complicated. Then adverbe affirmatif et négatif, pronom affirmatif et négatif, all the words like nothing, never, not yet, etc. Let's see what we have here. This is the station La Gare du Nord à Paris. Do you know the Concorde? This was the supersonic plane that was doing Paris-New York in, I think, 3 hours and a half instead of 6. They discontinued it. It was a French plane, so the French were really proud of their supersonic planes before. Now we kind of like forget about it, huh? Alright, à l'aéroport. On y va. On répète, un aéroport, un avion, un vol, le pilote, le steward, l'hôtesse de l'air. Vol is flight, hein? Donc le steward is the English word. We say steward, a little more like a T at the end. And the female equivalent, l'hôtesse de l'air. Un passager, une passagère, un siège, un billet, une carte d'embarquement, classe économique, classe affaires, première classe. Ok? On va voir la gare, à la gare, le quai, le train, le wagon, la voiture, un voyageur, une voyageuse, des valises. You know what cracks up the French is that the high-speed train is called TGV, like train grande vitesse. And the logo, if you put it upside down, looks exactly like a snail. Anyway, it's a little French joke. On continue. Le guichet, un billet, un aller-retour, le compartiment, la couchette, train plus vélo. Donc, le compartiment is like little cages where you sit in, okay? Where you have like 4 seats or 8 seats, you know? La couchette, in English is berth, B-E-R-T-H. It means where you sleep in the train. But I think berth is like a British English word. Train plus vélo is that concept where you take your bike with you in the train. And you hook it up so you can, like, when you exit at the station, you can use your bike. Let's see the systems of trains in France. So the train company is called SNCF, and we have long distance train and short distance train. Donc petite, grande distance. Les trains grande ligne, un corail is the one that goes slow. And un TGV is the high-speed train. High-speed trains are really cool. And then petite distance, these are the regional trains. So the Transilien is the one that does the Paris region. And the TER is the one that does more regional, not in Paris. That's the one I used to take to go to work every day. Like a lot of French. Let's see now the road. En route. On répète, conduire, rouler, une moto, une autoroute, une station-service, faire le plein d'essence, traverser. Then let's talk about the speed limits in France. Donc, les limites de vitesse en kilomètres-heure, hein, not in miles. Lentement, vite, 50, 90, 130. Dans une rue, en ville, sur une route, à la campagne, sur une autoroute. So let's say, on a road in town, that would be about, in the city, like 31 miles per hour. In the country, about 56 miles. And on a highway, it will be about 80 miles per hour. I wanted to share with you my first cars, the 3 cars I ever owned in France, actually. So that's une Renault 5 blanche, this little white car, okay? It was given by my grandparents. This second car was actually a pretty cool car. It was a Peugeot 106 bleu. It had jean seats. And my third car was in Saxo Grise. This one was really cool. It was really high quality. You probably, as Americans, don't see that this tiny car could be high quality, but it really was. You could go really fast with it. It had really good brakes and really good airbags and all that. And the French likes tiny car because they're handy. So we have, these are bad cars, like cheap cars, but this one was a really good car, one that I couldn't even afford myself. It's my grandfather who gave it to me. Anyway, let's move on. Let's look at preposition with means of transportation. Before a mean of transportation that you enter, you're going to use en, and before a mean of transportation that you mount or you ride, you're going to use a. So I went da-da-da by blah blah blah. So you're going to say en autocar, en autobus, en bateau, en camion, en métro, en train, en voiture, etc. So all means of transportations with en. So for anything you enter. Autocar is more like a coach, and autobus is more like a city bus. And then all the ones that you mount or you ride, you're going to say à vélo, à bicyclette, à cheval, à moto. Vélo, bicyclette means the same thing, it's just more convenient to say vélo, so we have a tendency to say vélo. Et voilà. On y va, on continue. We're going to see the cardinal points. On répète. Le nord, le sud, l'ouest, l'est, le nord-ouest, le sud-ouest, le nord-est, le sud-est. What's weird about it is that we actually pronounce all of the endings, whereas I always tell you never pronounce those letters at the end. But here, except for nord, we pronounce all of them. Listen, sud, ouest, est. Okay? It's just exceptions, right? So let's see. Paris est au sud de l'île. Strasbourg est à l'est de Paris. Bordeaux est au sud-ouest de Paris. Marseille est au sud-est de Paris. C'est bon? On continue? Let's look at a map of Europe. Okay? On va faire la même chose. L'Espagne est au sud-ouest de la France. L'Italie est au sud-est de la France. L'Allemagne est à l'est de la France. L'Angleterre est au nord de la France. L'Algérie est au sud de la France. La Belgique est au nord-est de la France. C'est bon? On continue. We're going to do the verb to drive. Conduire. On répète. Conduire. Je conduis. Tu conduis. Il conduit. Nous conduisons. Vous conduisez. Ils conduisent. So you see what's weird about it is that S that pops up out of nowhere, okay? And all the verbs in uir, like that ends in U-I-R-E, are going to take this conjugation with an extra S. Let's repeat them. Construire, détruire, produire, réduire, traduire. C'est bon? So that's not too difficult about conduire. What's difficult about conduire and all the verbs of transportation is to know when we use them. Let's concentrate. If you say je conduis, it means I can drive or I'm driving. But it doesn't mean I'm driving somewhere. If you want to say I'm driving somewhere, you're going to have to say I'm going somewhere by car. Okay? Let's see. Tu fais quoi? Je conduis. What are you doing? I'm driving. Okay? But if you want to say she's driving to work, you're going to say elle va au travail en voiture. Okay? How about to ride your bike? Then you're going to say ride your bike, elles font du vélo. If you want to say they ride their bike somewhere, you're going to have to say They're going somewhere by bike. Elles vont à l'université à vélo. How about they're walking? They're walking to the beach. If you just say they're walking, it's going to be ils marchent. How about they're walking to the beach? You're going to have to say they go to the beach by foot. Ils vont à la plage à pied. If you put the somewhere, you have to use aller, somewhere, plus the mean. So, en blah 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 or à blah blah blah. C'est bon? If you're just talking about the action, you can use the action itself. Let's see. Let's practice. How do you say, I drive to the beach every day? Let's think. We're going to say, we're not going to use je conduis, right? We're going to use je vais à la plage en voiture tous les jours. Je vais à la plage en voiture tous les jours. Okay? So we can't use conduire for this one. He walks to school every day. Can we use marcher? No, because there's to school. So we're going to say, il va à l'école à pied tous les jours. How about, look at me, I'm driving. We don't say somewhere, so it's going to be conduire. Regarde, je conduis. Okay? If there's somewhere, we use aller, somewhere plus the mean. If there's not somewhere, we just use the mean of transportation like that in the verb. C'est bon? Allez, on continue. You can be sure that on your test I'll ask you, how do you go to work? Or how do you, and most of you are going to answer, I drive. And you can't say I drive. You're going to have to say, I go to school by car. Okay? All right, let's keep working with depuis and pendant. Another thing that is kind of, you need to concentrate on that one. On y va. Depuis and pendant. We use depuis for things that are still true and pendant for things that are not true anymore. For example, depuis quand habites-tu à Wilmington? How long have you been living in Wilmington? J'habite à Wilmington depuis 2009. I still live in Wilmington. Depuis combien de temps habites-tu à Wilmington? J'habite à Wilmington depuis 5 ans. So depuis means both since and for. Okay? So j'habite à Wilmington depuis 2009, since 2009, depuis 5 ans, for 5 years. Okay? Two questions different. Since when? For how long? So depuis quand? Since when? Depuis combien de temps? For how long? Then, pendant combien de temps is how long have you been doing something? Something that you don't do anymore. So pendant means for, and we use it with the passé composé, whereas depuis quand, depuis combien de temps, depuis works with the present tense, at least at our level, okay? It's not always true. If you take French 3, you'll review that rule, okay? Pendant combien de temps as-tu habité à Paris? J'ai habité à Paris pendant 5 ans. So, things that are true anymore, we use depuis plus the present tense. Things that are not true anymore, we use pendant and the passé composé, the past tense, okay? Let's practice. Things still true. Je conduis depuis 5 ans. I've been driving for 5 years. It is still true, then we use depuis. Il fait du jogging depuis 3 ans. He's still jogging these days, so we use the present tense and depuis. Things that we don't do anymore. For example, j'ai eu un chat pendant 10 ans. I've had a cat for 10 years. I don't have that cat anymore, so I use passé composé and pendant. Il a été boulanger pendant 1 an. Like he's been a baker for a year. He's not a baker anymore. Passé composé and pendant. So I'll repeat one more time. Things that are true, you put present tense and depuis. Things that are not true anymore, passé composé and pendant. Let's practice. For example, can you write 3 activities you don't do anymore? J'ai fait du basket pendant 3 ans. J'ai J'ai fait du vélo pendant 5 ans. J'ai mangé des cookies pendant 10 ans. And then 3 things that are still true. These are going to start with je, right? Present tense. J'étudie à UNCW depuis 1 an. Or, je travaille à Paris depuis 3 ans. Okay? So things that are still true. Present tense, not true anymore, passé composé. I hope it's clear. Okay, you'll see with your central if that makes sense. On y va. Let's move on to the next thing, adverbe affirmatif et négatif. These are all words that you need to write by heart, to learn by heart. That's what I put the right. On répète. Toujours, souvent, parfois, ne jamais. You remember the verbs come here, okay? And then, these are new ones. Encore, ne plus, déjà, ne pas encore, ne que, seulement. So, encore, ne plus are contraries. Déjà, ne pas encore are contraries. Ne que and seulement, they mean the same thing. There are 2 ways of saying only. Okay? On y va. Let's detail. So, if you want to talk with toujours, souvent, parfois, ne jamais, we're going to put them right after the verb. Elle va toujours à la plage. Elle va souvent à la plage. Elle va parfois à la plage. So you see what's going on is that in English you would put it here. You'd put it between the subject and a verb. She often goes to the beach, okay? Or she always goes to the beach. And then if it's never, elle ne va jamais à la plage. We're going to need that ne, okay? And the jamais is going to go after the verb, okay? C'est bon? All right. Let's keep working on the other ones. Encore, ne plus, déjà, ne pas encore, ne que, seulement. Alors, déjà means have you ever, if it's a question, and means already if it's an answer. Have you ever been to Paris? Yes, I've already been to Paris. You see, so déjà means both ever in a question or already in an answer. Alors, let's detail them. Before we detail them, let me remind you something that is kind of annoying. Is that since we're dealing with negative words such as ne plus, ne pas encore, so not anymore and not yet, what happens in negative sentences, do you remember? Un, une, des becomes deux, and du, de la, des becomes deux. So every time you're going to use not anymore or not yet, which are ne plus, ne pas encore, or jamais, never, you're going to have to use that rule. Let's see. I have a car. How do you say I have a car? Do you remember? J'ai une voiture. So what is going to be the negative? Je n'ai pas de voiture. Okay? I want some coffee. Je veux du café. I don't want some coffee. Je ne veux pas de café. I like cars. J'aime les voitures, plural. Negative. I don't like cars. It doesn't change. So can you remember that? If you use with ne pas, ne plus, ne pas encore, ne jamais, etc., you'll have to be careful and stick to the this DE form instead of un, une, des, and du, de la, des. All right. Now that we said, let's practice. We're going to detail them, okay? Encore, with its contrary, ne plus. Le train est encore sur le quai. Le train n'est plus sur le quai. The train is still on the platform. The train is not on the platform anymore. Le train est encore sur le quai. Le train n'est plus sur le quai. Let me ask you a question. Fais-tu encore de la peinture avec les mains? Oui, je fais encore de la peinture avec les mains. Non, je ne fais plus de peinture avec les mains. De, because it's negative. De la becomes de. Alors, on y va. Do you still finger paint? Yes, I still finger paint. No, I don't finger paint anymore. Let me ask you more question. Fais-tu encore des châteaux de sable? Oui, je fais encore des châteaux de sable. Ou non, je ne fais plus de châteaux de sable. Construis-tu encore des cabanes? Oui, je construis encore des cabanes. Or, non, je ne construis plus de cabanes. Dis-y. Fais-tu encore des bulles de savon? Oui, je fais encore des bulles de savon. Ou non, je ne fais plus de bulles de savon. De bulles, dis-y, de savon. C'est bon? Okay, let's practice with déjà and ne pas encore. So you know déjà in English you use it with the déjà vu, right? You remember déjà vu is like something that you've already seen, literally already seen, or that you feel like you've already seen. You should check on YouTube that. Avez-vous déjà vu? It is hilarious. It's a little skit that would be in French. So it's always say, avez-vous déjà vu? Have you ever seen? And then it ends with, maintenant, oui. Now, yes. It's really, really funny. Alors, on y va. So déjà, we said already. As-tu déjà vu? Pardon. As-tu déjà fait du surf? Oui, j'ai déjà fait du surf. Non, je n'ai pas encore fait de surf. Okay? Not yet. I haven't tried it yet. Faire. Faire des cupcakes. As-tu déjà fait des cupcakes? Like make them, hein? Oui, j'ai déjà fait des cupcakes. Non, je n'ai pas encore fait de cupcakes. Dis-y. As-tu déjà fait du bateau? Oui, j'ai déjà fait du bateau. Or, non, je n'ai pas encore fait de bateau. Dis-y. As-tu déjà fait des crêpes? Oui, j'ai déjà fait des crêpes. Or non, je n'ai pas encore fait de crêpes. C'est bon? On continue. Still with déjà and pas encore, let's use aller because we're going to have to use être. Like es-tu instead of as-tu. Es-tu déjà allé à Paris? Oui, je suis déjà allé à Paris. Non, je ne suis pas encore allé à Paris. Es-tu déjà allé à New York? Oui, je suis déjà allé à New York. Ou non, je ne suis pas encore allé à New York. Es-tu déjà allé en Afrique? Oui, je suis déjà allé en Afrique. Ou non, je ne suis pas encore allé en Afrique. Es-tu déjà allé à Montréal? Oui, je suis déjà allé à Montréal. Ou non, je ne suis pas encore allé à Montréal. We could also use jamais, hein? Je ne suis jamais allé à Montréal. C'est bon? On continue. Let's see how we use only. So we have two ways. Either we say ne, put the verb here, que, or seulement. Il n'a que 20 euros. Il a seulement 20 euros. Elle n'a que 3 jours. Elle a seulement 3 jours. Il n'a besoin que d'une valise. Il a seulement besoin d'une valise. Okay? It's the same thing. It's just that seulement is more practical to use. You just put it right after the verb. Ne que is more proper. Okay? And that's why we don't use it all that much when we speak. Okay? It's more like a written thing. Alright, let's look at our very last thing for this chapter, which is les pronoms affirmatifs et négatifs. So how to say nobody, somebody, everybody, nothing, something, everything. Alors, let's start with the easy one. Let's repeat all of them. Personne, quelqu'un, tout le monde, rien, quelque chose, tout. The only trick is that personne and rien are going to take a ne. So if personne and rien are at the beginning of the sentence, they're going to take the ne after. The ne is going to go right before the verb. And then if it's after, the ne is going to come before and rien after. Let's make it clear. Nobody likes Peter. So you're going to see, you see how nobody can be anywhere, everybody can be anywhere in the sentence, right? You just put it where you need it. No, like everybody likes Peter and Peter likes everybody doesn't mean the same thing, right? It's not like the words that we just say like not yet and all that. They have to be at one spot in the sentence. These, they can be anywhere you need them. Everybody likes Peter or Peter likes everybody, Alright? The only thing is that the ne is going to come before the verb. Okay? Nobody likes Peter. How do you say that? You're going to say personne n'aime Peter. So personne and then the ne aime Peter. And then if you want to say Peter likes nobody, you're going to say Peter n'aime, so the ne, and then you're going to put personne, right? The ne always goes before the verb, no matter where we put the personne and the rien. How about everybody likes Peter? Tout le monde aime Peter. No ne anymore, it's not negative. Peter likes everybody. Peter aime tout le monde. Okay? So, these words are placed wherever you need them, except that the ne in these two negative have to be before the verb. Let's look at a few titles of movies and all that. Non, je ne regrette rien. What does it mean? No, I don't regret anything. You see, rien is at the end, but you put the ne before the verb. Ne le dis à personne. Don't say it to anybody. Huh? Ne before the verb, even if personne is after. Quelque chose à te dire. Something to tell you. It's a movie. These are all movies here. Quelqu'un de bien. Someone good, like a good person. Tout le monde en parle. That's a TV show. Hein? Tout le monde en parle. Everybody talks about it. Okay? So remember these. Even if rien is at the end, the ne comes before the verb. Personne is at the end, ne comes before the verb. Et voilà! I think we're done with chapter 9. Right.